Héctor Cabañol lives in Barcelona, on just 4 square meters.
Bueno, pues este sería el habitáculo.
This is the sleeping box. It's pretty tight, but it's basically almost a room. All the essentials fit.
For this box, he pays €200 per month. Next door, a small shared bathroom, lounge, and kitchen for 24 tenants. It's an emergency solution for Héctor. A year ago, his relationship fell apart and he moved out. But he still has to maintain the apartment and support 2 children on an income of €1,000.
Because I'm no longer with my family and can't find a full-time job, I can't even afford a room. I'd have to take money from my savings every month.
Barcelona is booming. The cost of living is rising. A room costs an average of €500. Rental apartments are now unaffordable for many. Marc Olivet wants to profit from his business idea called Colmena, or Beehive. His project, living in boxes. But as the graffiti at the entrance to his exhibition space shows, there's a lot of opposition to it. His explanation sounds like an apology.
This system was never intended for the inhabitants of the cities, only for travelers, for tourists, but not for people who live and work in the city, people who at the moment are in misery.
People like Santiago Ortega. The Colombian has lived in Barcelona for 2 years. He can't even afford a room from sales of his handmade wooden figures. So he sleeps in the Colmena prototype on exactly 2.64 square meters in a room only 1.4 meters high. No visitors allowed.
The price was the deciding factor. I can save, but it's not ideal for living.
The project is just beginning, says Marc Olivet. He wants to expand. Together with investors, he wants to build a complex with up to 650 sleeping boxes here. He doesn't feel sorry for the residents.
This
is the lesser evil. After all, you sleep in a normal bed with normal dimensions. But you share the place with other people temporarily, maybe 2 years, unless you can hold out longer.
Ingrid Leon thinks it's outrageous. For days, the Ecuadorian woman has been camping in the outskirts of Barcelona. She was kicked out of her apartment because she lost her job and couldn't pay the rent. She's hoping for state assistance. Yeah. Living in a sleeping box is out of the question for her.
We don't even live like this in my country. No, that is inhuman. I can't imagine living like this. I don't know. That's so depressing.
In the meantime, an entire organization is fighting along with Ingrid against the decline of affordable housing. Didac Segura sees a new threat in the Colmenas.
This basically undermines dignified living. You can't call it living. You're packed into a box. Your living space is reduced to a minimum. How can one live like that?
Barcelona's city council is also concerned about the Colmenas and wants to ban them. We don't get an interview, but we do get a mail that says the boxes don't meet the minimum required dimensions of living space. Marc Olivet doesn't agree. He says the definitions are not clear-cut. The Colmenas are a legal gray area. And demand is great. He has already received more than 3,000 applications.
Basically, we're offering 10 square meters per person, but only 2.6 in the sleeping box. The rest is for everyday life in the common rooms.
Héctor Cabañol has now become used to it, living in the Colmena for more than 6 months now. He never thought he'd stay this long, but until he finds a better job, his life has to fit into a box.